Hi, Taylor T. Carlson, and I'm back with another video for you. Back to the world of video gaming today. We just got Super Mario 64 reissued at long last in the form of the Mario 3D All-Stars package that Nintendo just released. I had this game on my Nintendo 64 back in the day. I had it as a Wii and Wii U shop channel download, and I've been wondering if we were ever going to get the chance to play it on the Nintendo Switch, and now we get that in the form of the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection. So, looking back and going forward and replaying this game all these years later, I thought it would be time to do a video of what I believe are the 10 toughest stars in Super Mario 64. Now, this list is based exclusively on the skill level required to get these stars. I'm assuming that by now you've probably already played the game and you have a knowledge of what is where and how to go about getting the stars, so there might be light spoilers in this review for people who aren't familiar with the game yet. But before I get on with my list of the 10 toughest stars, I'm going to do a few honorable mentions. First of all is the 8 red coin star in Vanish Cap under the moat. First 4 coins are pretty easy to get because you go down this ramp and you can adjust the camera angles to jump where you want to jump. But then you get onto these moving platforms that can fling you off into oblivion. You're going to replay this one a lot, but thankfully you don't lose a life, and therefore you can pretty much replay it to your heart's content or as many times as your patience will allow. You also have some other stars that I'm going to put as honorable mentions here, including the Big Penguin Race on Cool Mountain, just because that penguin can easily knock you off and you can't use the shortcut during that race. The last of the 3 honorable mentions is Wiggler's Red Coins in Tiny Huge Island. Just getting to the cave where these red coins are is a royal pain, and once you get in there, everything is at these awkward angles. You pretty much have to shift your camera around all the time. And of course, there's those obligatory fire dispenser enemies that'll burn Mario's butt and send him flying into oblivion. So you're going to have to plan very carefully for this one. And if you get a lost life, you don't restart at the beginning of the cave. You have to play all the way through just to get yourself back there. Anyway, let's go ahead and get on with the 10 hardest star list. At number 10, I've got the 100 coin star on Dire Docks. This level is not very big. You can't get any coins from enemies. There's only 106 coins in the entire level, and when you're going through this level, you gotta get the blue coins. You can't miss any of those. You gotta get the red coins from the pole jumping. Some of the coins are easy to find, but some are also very easy to miss. Like there's 5 coins pretty high up in the opening shaft where you start this level that are easy to overlook. It doesn't help that some of those red coins also are right in the place where you can easily get sucked out of the level and therefore have to start all over. At number 9 on this list, I have the under 21 second star on the Princess's Secret slide. You pretty much have to get a perfect run going down the slide to get this one. Whenever I get it, it's like tenths of a second worth of difference, and I've had to replay this one more times than I can count. Some people say you should try jumping off the edge to try to land on a lower part of the slide. I've tried that, but I've never been able to get that to work. On top of that, also, some people recommend maybe doing a long jump to start the slide. Some people recommend going down on your belly instead of just sliding down normally. Again, I can't really say if any of those methods really help here, but it is what it is. You're going to have a lot of skills in order to get this star. At number 8, we have the castle basement catching the rabbit. You actually have to do this twice, but I'm only going to count this as one entry on the list. This rabbit just goes around at all these close quarters, and it's really easy to bump into the walls and miss him. You pretty much have to corner him in one of the dead ends, do a leap of faith, and hope for the best. This is one where I've spent quite some time trying to catch that damn rabbit. It's just, even in my older age, it hasn't really gotten any easier. At number 7 on this list in TikTok Clock, we have Stomp on the Thwomp. Basically, you have to go all the way to the top of the clock tower, and that's unto itself is a challenge because you have to go off the beaten path to get up higher, and there's really no smart way to do this in terms of setting the time. It's possible to do it with the clock stop, but I don't think it's really any easier doing that way. It might actually be more difficult, so I recommend just trying it with the clock at the slowest speed, so go with the big hands on the 3. And as with any other star on this level, one false step sends you all the way back to the beginning or to your death. And you got to be careful with all those enemies that'll fling you around, all the fire spitters, and pretty much everything else in between. This level's a pain, but nothing else in the level rivals the difficulty of this star, except maybe the 100 coin star. Number 6 on the list, we have the 8 red coin star in Bowser in the Dark World. I knew one of the Bowser levels was going to land on here. A lot of people think Bowser in the Sky is the hardest 8 red coin star, but aside from 2 coins that are kind of hard to find, that one's actually pretty easy by comparison. Just look at the beginning of Bowser in the Dark World. There's 2 coins hanging off the edge. You have to hit this limited time purple exclamation point box just to get those 2 coins. So that's a challenge unto itself even before the level really gets underway. You may not even have the metal cap unlocked at this point in the game, of course, just because you got to get down to the basement before you can do that. A lot of the coins are right on the path, but then you have one that's on a platform in the middle of nowhere, irrelevant to anything else except getting the coins. Then the last 2 are like next to these teeter-totters right over the bottomless pit, and it's so easy to fall in and just have to start all over again. You can see why this definitely gets one of the top hardest star marks in my book. At number 5 on the list, we have 100 coins in the Hazy Maze Cave. There's not a whole lot of coins in this level, so you pretty much have to go off in a bunch of different directions and dead ends just hunting for those coins. And you got to be careful because there's a black hole you can fall into from a bunch of different angles. You can easily get lost in the Hazy Maze where you'll keep losing life if you don't have a metal cap on. And on top of that, it's kind of hard to get all the blue coins that appear when you hit the switch inside the actual Hazy Maze component. You got to go basically everywhere in this level, not die, and hope for the best. Going down the list further, at number 4 we have Tower of the Wing Cap, 8 red coins. These are together in pairs, and you'll get this one pretty quickly if you get it. The problem is, you pretty much have to get these on the first go-around because you're losing altitude this whole time, and if you have to land, you're not going to be able to get high enough to go back up and get the coins. And on top of that, you can run out of your wing cap and just fall down. I mean, you can replay this as many times as you want, but believe me, it becomes frustrating very fast. Number 3 on this list, we have Somewhere Over the Rainbow on Rainbow Ride. To me, this is the hardest course in the game because there's very little ground and almost no room for error. You make one false step and you're going down to your death. This star, you pretty much have to do everything else you had to do as part of the cruiser crossing the Rainbow Star, plus you have to do a ton of wall jumps to get up into a maze on the other side of the level, talking to the pink bomb to open the cannon. You got to get up to the ship, get in that cannon, and then you got to fire with a leap of faith over to this island. And even if you make the jump and hit the pole there, there's a chuck-ya who will, pardon the bad pun, chuck you into oblivion. I mean, even if you know what you're doing, this requires a lot of skill because the carpets will disappear if you're off of them for too long. And if you play this game, you certainly know how that can be. The number 2 hardest star in the game I have on here is the 8 red coins in Wing Mario Over the Rainbow. This, of course, yet another wing cap trial where you got to jump from cloud to cloud and fire yourself with the cannon, getting these 8 red coins. It's another mission where there's no margin for error, and if you fall and you fail to your death down there, you don't die, you start over outside the castle, so you got to scale a good 3 levels just to try again. There have been times when I've gotten all 8 red coins, and I've had to play it all over again because I fell to oblivion just trying to get back to where the star had appeared. And my number 1 hardest star in Super Mario 64, of course, would have to be 100 coins on Rainbow Ride. Like I said, there's no margin for error in this level. One false step, you're dead and you're starting over. You got to go to the maze, you got to go to the swinging platforms, you got to go up to the ship, you got to do a bunch of crazy wall jumps to get up to where the blue coins appear, and that's a race against time. You're counting on those coins and you could very easily miss out on them. There's actually a decent number of coins in this level, but the number of hazards and easy ways to die makes this my toughest star in Super Mario 64. To you, what is the hardest star in Super Mario 64? Are you a fan of this game? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also remember to subscribe to my channel for additional content and give this video a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson and I will see you in my next review.